everyone, it's Beth and I am back with another Decorate With Me. This is actually my husband's Christmas tree in his poker room. So if you saw my other video, that was our family tree. It's more of a traditional family Christmas tree with all the bells and whistles. So in his poker room, it's definitely more laid back, more masculine, and we wanted to do something more rustic. So you can see we even have a picture of the Alamo in here. So we're Texans and we just want to keep it nice and simple with some more natural elements to it than you would see kind of on our other Christmas tree. This tree is actually also the same one he had from his bachelor days that he used to decorate with his kids. And we've since moved all of those family ornaments that they had on that tree onto the larger tree and repurposed it here in this room. So I really like this tree because I think it's proof that you can take the most simple and basic tree and turn it into something really special. So this honestly is just your plain Jane faux tree. It's not even pre-lit. It doesn't have anything fancy on it. It's just as basic as it gets. So we really jazzed it up a bit and I hope you like it. Tell me what you think.
Time to decorate the tree. So this tree is actually sitting inside of a basket that we use elsewhere in the house during the year. It's just got some bricks over the top of the base there to keep it steady. And then I went through and I fluffed out the branches, starting from the center of the branch and working my way out, opening up the branches and angling them slightly upwards like they're reaching for the sun. This is how these trees grow in nature rather than sticking straight out. So if you'll go ahead and fluff your tree that way, you'll actually get a much more natural looking tree, if that's even possible, with some of these fake trees like this one, because it really is probably one of the fakest looking trees I've ever seen. So with saying that, we're going to add in some ribbon. All of the decorations are from Hobby Lobby. I purchased some last year, some this year, but all the ones that I purchased last year were still at Hobby Lobby this year, and I was still able to get those at 50% off. So this ribbon is actually really lightweight, so all I'm simply doing is poking it into the tree and just kind of making some loops. It is wired on the sides, so I'm just starting from top to bottom. Sometimes I'll twist it a bit and maybe move it over a few inches to the left, a few inches to the right, just kind of twisting it, giving it a really natural, organic look. Unlike our family tree, if you watch the video, I'll link it down below of how I do the ribbon for that tree. That ribbon is actually 3 pieces put together, and I wire it into the tree because it's wrapped all the way around from top to bottom. It's much more structured looking, and therefore it really needs to be held into place. With this ribbon, I want more of an organic look, more natural. So all I really have to do is just kind of take the time to step back and look at it and just see, do I need more ribbon here? Should I move this one over to the left a bit more? Is it kind of overlapping the other? And you can see that's what I'm doing right here, just kind of rearranging what I've already put in. And it's really easy to fix because it's not wired in. If for some reason you've got kind of an odd piece hanging somewhere and you need it, you know, a little bit more stability, you can take a little branch of the tree and just kind of wrap it around to hold that ribbon into place. What I like about this ribbon is it is black, white, and tan, and of course red, and that room is black, white, and tan. And now we're able to kind of just add a little bit of pop of color in the red for the Christmas season. So it keeps it from looking kind of too flashy. Again, this is a boys' room, so we don't want it to be too feminine, and I think this is a really great way to add in some color without it looking, you know, too crazy girly.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing.
Now I'm going to add in these floral picks. These are actually new for this year. I thought last year when I finished decorating the tree, it really just looked like a super cheap fake tree with pretty decorations on it. So I thought by adding in these picks, they're a bit bigger, a bit heavier than normal picks, and they're actually probably more meant for like vase decorations. but 4 or 5 of them, I think I used 5, really worked well because now I think it looks so much more dimensional. It looks like it's actually got some more realistic branches in there rather than just kind of the cheap ones that are already there. Again, this was my husband's tree from his bachelor days, so you know, here I am. I've got an extra tree on my hand, so of course I'm going to decorate it. So I really like the way this looked in the end too.
What fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Now I'm going to add in some garland. This garland is kind of like made of sisal or twine, and it's got some little stars that are dangling there, and I thought it went really well with kind of our rustic Texan room. And I actually think I used 3 strands on here, and I'm not wrapping them all the way around the back. First of all, because, you know, save some money, not have to buy 4 strands. And this is actually when I realized I had 3 strands and saw it laying there on the floor. But nobody sees the back of this tree from this room. Nobody is coming from either side to really be able to see that the back isn't decorated. So I just kind of wrapped it as far around the back as I could, and then just made a little loop and just twisted it back around and finished going down the other side. What I also like about adding garland in for a tree like this is we've got our ribbon that's going from top to bottom, and then now we have the garland that's going from side to side. So it kind of gives it a little bit more direction and dimension and not so kind of static. Here I am adding in some white glitter snowballs. And what I'm doing with these is I'm putting some of them deeper back inside of the branches, again, for dimension, so that way when you're looking at the tree, it doesn't look like everything is just sitting on top, that some are actually sitting on the inside of the tree. And then some are, of course, more towards the outer edges. I like these glitter snowballs because it does add a nice little pop of kind of glitter and shine. Everything on the tree right now is, you know, pretty rustic and flat, so the glitter adds just a little bit of something extra that we wouldn't have there otherwise. Now I'm adding on our little woodland creatures. We've got squirrels and owls and raccoons. I think there's maybe only 6 or 8 total of these things on here, but they really just add so much. They're kind of made out of the same raffia and twine and fur and things like that. These little kind of woodland creatures, snow-kissed. And here I'm adding in some pine cones, and these were actually free. Yay for free. My parents have a lake house out in East Texas, and it's in the piney woods, so there's pine cones everywhere. You can't walk anywhere without stepping on one. So last year they actually collected a couple of bags for me, and these are left over from last year. But I'm just laying these on the branches, just kind of nestling them in there a little bit. Again, just to add some dimension, make it look a little more natural like a real tree. And then we've put in the red berry the red berry picks. They're kind of frosted there. Now I'm adding on the top, which is really just an ornament. It's a deer head with glitter antlers just there at the top. I didn't want to go too crazy and add a big bow or make it all big at the top. I just wanted something simple for our simple little tree there. So I've just taken some floral wire and wired him by his antlers to the top of the tree. And now I am adding in just a ivory fleecy kind of fuzzy blanket that we've had forever. It's just an old blanket to cover those bricks up. And now I'm just putting the pine cones underneath there to kind of cover the blanket a little bit more, so it doesn't look like we just threw a blanket on there. We've got a little bit more dimension there for the bottom of the tree as well inside that basket. And here's our finished product. You can see up close all the little critters, the woodland critters in the tree, the raccoons and the owls and the squirrels are all kind of tucked in there. I really like the way it turned out with like the red berries. There's the deer at the top. with the little white snowballs. I think it all goes together really well and gives the look that I was going for, rustic and organic and not too feminine. So I really like the addition of these larger frosted picks this year. I really think it steps up the tree a notch so it doesn't look so cheap and fake. It looks a little bit more classy and a little bit more real. And there's the pine cones and our little rustic twine star garland. I love how everything came together. And here's the finished room with the tree. Off to the side there, we've got our patinaed windmill hanging. And that's actually the bar off to the side. It works out pretty well for the guys to make their drinks during the poker game, of course. And you can see here is the poker table. If you're wondering what a poker table is, what's the difference between a regular table? It's covered in leather, so the cards slide across it more easily. I know, I didn't know either. But we've got Mr. and Mrs. Snowman that sit at the table when nobody's playing. And back here in the corner, I've got a candle holder from Pier 1. Just added some jingle bells in there for some decoration. On the table itself, I've got 2 driftwood balls and a vase that are actually normally in another room during the year. And inside of the vase, I just put some Christmas greenery, some little white balls, and some red berries to tie back into the tree over there. Off here on this wall is the artwork that inspired the theme for our tree. And next time all the guys come over and play a poker game, they're going to look at that tree and just ooh and ah and be so inspired. No, not really. They won't even notice it's there. Thanks for watching.